Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Let me know what city or state you're tapping in from, and then we're going to get toward these earnings. I want to recap some of the ones we went over this past Sunday because a lot of them hit. We went over UNH, we went over Meta, we went over a lot of tickers, and a lot of them just went off. And I'm a little disappointed that I didn't take as many of them that I put down, but hey, you can't win them all. Like I say, earnings are very risky, so it's not a lot that I play into. But a lot of those tickers that I covered, a lot of the setups that we looked at printed. So definitely shout out to those that took them. AAL for one, I called the AAL 14 put, and that one was think it's up over 100. I think it's up over like 80%. So we had $14 puts on AAL, and these are for a month out. I gave Bank of America based off of Trump and the banks not coming to agreement with that 10%. And I was like, hey, it's not quite ready. Then we got midweek. That thing got ready. So those are 55 to $60 straight calls. I believe those were for March. Let's see which other ones we had. I added a few to my watch list. I miss UNH, and when I say UNH was the one, UNH was the one. That thing dropped like 70 something points. Look at that. I got the gaps off, but let's take a look at that gap. Why isn't it printing? Oh, I'm not showing them. Hide some of those indicators, but see that drops 347 down to 294. So if you was in them puts, those puts went over thousands of percent. Like I said, when we first looked at them, the chain was not that robust, but they printed and paid. Let me take a look at who else I got. If you let me know what y'all looking at, this is gonna be a very very long call. It's gonna be pretty long because we got quite a few tickers to go over. But the AAL puts, like I said, let me go back. They're up 108%, and that expiration was 220. The Exxon 140 calls are up 106% at almost $300. The T, I wrote in our chat, and I'm mad. I got to go correct that inside the Mogul Discord. I put P. These were T AT&T calls, and it was for 23, and these don't expire until 220. Look at that after earnings. This contract was 106. It's up to 234, 220%. I gave the Bank of America. So Exxon, these are all on my watch list. Exxon 140 call for 320. AAL $14 push for 220. Bank of America 52.50, 320. Those are call. The 320 expiration. Bank of America $60 strike expiration 320, and AT&T, which is T, $23 calls, and those are for 220. All of these are green. If you're adding in, if you look at the Bank of America 60, let's actually take this over the bar chart because it's not super exciting, but it can grow. So let's go to BAC. And this is the $60 call for 320. So we're going to go to those option prices. If you never use bar chart, I'm using it free. I'm not signed in. It's a great tool to do some back testing on when you should have got in a trade or how it's playing out. And this thing is not up a whole lot. It's not anything crazy, but the percentage is still 41%. So if we track this down, this contract was down. It was $8 when I added it to my watch list. It was 12. You can see it's up to 17. So that's a $5 41% return. And other people are like, well, Chastity, it's only $5. It's $5. You didn't have to go sign up for anybody's job. You didn't have to go work. This just played out with you holding it overnight. Thank you, Emeka Human, K Watts, Raymond. I'm glad y'all are enjoying these. Let me know where y'all are checking in from. If you took any of these plays or added them to your watch list, let me know what you got. And if there are any other tickets for the earnings this week that you want me to cover that I may not be covering, let me know. But again, this is going to be a fairly long call, so we'll strap in, get your snacks, get your water, because we have a lot to cover. So if we go to Earnings Whisper, we got Walt Disney, Palantir, Simon. Now, Simon, we might not trade, but I just want to take a look at it because it is over the malls and real estate. DaVita. Now, I'm interested in this because I have a client that works with with a company that's similar to DaVita, but I'm like, they're not looking at any cure for kidney disease, but the life expectancy of patients or clients with kidney disease or kidney disorders is 5 to 10 years. So after 5 to 10 years, now they got to go find more people to take that person's spot in revenue. So I'm interested in listening to the call, see how they're going to do as a business, and the advancements of kidney uh, kidney repair, replacement, and subsidy. So we got PayPal, Pepsi, Merck, Pfizer. We may not take a look at all of those, but they're in the same wheelhouse. AMD is going to be a big one. Supermicro is going to be a big one. Chipotle, Enphase. I think Chipotle is going to be a buzz. I don't know if they're going to pick back up. And I like Kava, and Kava's been doing a little bit better. We got Uber, Lilly, Novartis. Again, we may not trade these, but we do want to take a look. Ambi, Alphabet, which are Google. That's the Google with the L, much more affordable than the G. We got ARM, Qualcomm, O'Reilly. In the news, if you've been following the news, they've been having all of this business about kill switch 2026. So this is a no kill switch in car. I think that's the right one. Legislature. I gotta find a one, but they're talking about putting a kill switch mandate in the vehicles in cars made after 2026. This is gonna get a real big boom into older vehicles and junkyards. People are not gonna want to switch into having this type of kill switch or technology in a car. I don't want you to have control over cutting my car on or off or saying where I can go, how far I can travel, how many miles. It's my car. I pay for. I'm not signing up to a subscription service when it comes to that. So if you're in the business of buying a car, I suggest buying something now or before now, or get you an older vehicle. Make sure you got a good mechanic, because the cars going forward, it's going to be a subscription. You're going to prepay your car note, or you're not going to be able to drive your vehicle. It's not going to crank up. It's not going to start. Um, they add in breathalyzer suit. Yeah, all of this stuff. Like again, they've already started that for drunk drivers. So why wouldn't they put it in there? But you're not gonna add all this stuff to my car. So Raymond wants to look at PayPal, Uber, Liddy, Reddit, Centene. Why Centene? Centene was on my radar. So tell me why you're looking at Centene. Also, Snap in competition with TikTok and all the other. I'm not a snapper. I think this is more for Snapchat is more for the younger generation. I'm not snapping nobody. Don't come up to me, ask me for my snap, because I don't be on there. I don't want the notification. I don't care what nobody do, and they don't want people to see it later. So I don't really care. I'm not into that. Back into our Venezuela with oil, we got Conoco and we got Shell. We look at Energizer, Bristol Squid, big heavy hitter, Amazon. Amazon is just gonna rule everything. Like I'm very bullish on Amazon and stocking up. But again, we can be bullish on a company and still take puts. They can get pulled back. People may want entry into a better position. Roblox, all these kids and their Roblox and being on there doing the dances inside of there. So Roblox, I want to take a look for the parents. If you buy your kids Robux, make sure you're buying your kids Roblox. Partial shares. If you got to go spend $20 on some Roblox, when your kids got $20 and they want to put it on their Robux, make them go buy some Robux and see. Okay, after they spend half of that on Robux, they spend it, it's gone, and then have them go look at their portfolio, Cash App account, or whatever, and say, "Well, you spent that 10 on those Robux. Now you got some money. You can use that to pay for those Robux in the future." But also Reddit, also the afterpay market. People, as things start to get more expensive, buy now, pay later is going to continue to boom. I am a big fan of Affirm, SoFi, the Klarna, all of that. So I want to see how revenue is paying out. Are they running off on the plug? And that's a big thing that we see with buy now, pay later. They're going to give you what you want up front, like layaway. But layaway had a security. You couldn't take it home until you were done paying the layaway off. Buy now, pay later lets you get the item now. So people can just say, hey, I'm not going to pay them back. Cigna, Estee Lauder. I've been peeping on Estee Lauder for a minute because they got down below COVID lows. I think they're kind of dead in the water. They need to pick up advertisement. They need to get some young blood in there, because when I think of Estee Lauder, I think of my grandmother. I think about the old ladies in church with the red lipstick and the nails on. Elizabeth Taylor. I don't think about any. It doesn't correlate to me with anything young or in present day. So if y'all think about that, what do you think about when you hear Estee Lauder? Does it sound innovative to you? Does anybody use Estee Lauder products? Like, it just seems like it's dead and it needs to be revived. Probably not going to trade it, but we can take a look at Under Armour. Fitness is always the go-to at the beginning of the year. People to the new year, new year, new me, and exercising. But Under Armour is still doing well. I haven't seen advertisement around it, so I just wonder how they're doing as far as retail in that industry, $1 billion industry in healthcare. But let's see how Under Armour is doing. And then Toyota. I have a Toyota. I think they're great cars in manufacturing, but most manufacturing companies and car companies, they don't have a large margin and they're not truly traded. So we're going to take a look at this so y'all can see how those fare. Great skincare, but old brand needs a refresh and advertising. There you go. Same thoughts that I had. I thought the exact same thing. So let's jump right into it. We're going to hit up Disney. So this is a daily looking at for Disney. They beat their last earnings in November and still sold down. Let's go look at how they played out last year. 2025 earnings. Oh, here we go. Another big red candle coming off this beginning of the year. So if we're bearish and we're going just based off the calendar, we do see some selling. Selling right here. I would see it probably down to support 109, 110. But we're gonna go check that and see what everybody else thinks. So again, I'm a little bearish on Disney, and I could be wrong, but I just want to look at it. Now we want to take a look at the weekly, but also it's probably going to be safer to get the monthly so we don't get that IV crush. But we're just going to look at affordability. Remember, I said puts probably down to 110. A little bit of activity here, nothing crazy. The 115 looks better. Have a little more activity here. But if we buy ourselves some time, let's see. Well, we would have had to get in Friday. But if we think they're going down, you would have had to have taken the trade on Friday. Oh, I take that back because I think we do it after, before open. So we're not going to be able to take advantage of it, of Disney. But we can see how it plays out. I would still be looking at these puts. Nobody's sitting really heavy in them. But let's go look at the monthlies and see if there's a little bit more range. A little bit of open interest at that 110, where I was seeing a lot more open interest in volume on that 115. That contract's 340. So definitely something to keep an eye on. We want to look at Tyson. And y'all let me know, are y'all bullish or bearish on Disney? Ooh, Tyson looks nice. Nice for Tyson. So expected a 14.12 billion in revenue, but 11.4% decline in earnings. Sheesh. So Q4 is not looking that great, but they are going to report. Like I said, they're on a run. Their 52-week high, they just hit that 65.96. So let's see if they continue to push. If they come down, it'll probably be down to support at 63. But with the run of and about a dollar move, we could look at like 66, 67 on Tyson. And again, I would want to buy some time. Or they already got they just have the monthly out anyway. So no fair there. So if we went bullish at that 67 and a half, maybe 70, I don't like the spread at the 70. We're not touching that, even though it has more activity. So we could see the move going up. But the bid is 15 and the ask is 80. Sheesh, we don't want to touch that. 135 and the 150 is not bad at the 67.5, but we're not touching this bid and ask on that 70. That 67.50 is what we want to look at. You can add that to your watch list and see how it plays out. But again, a lot of things we can look into. More commonly watch is Tyson, but nobody's probably going to be trading that thing. So let's keep on going. Said I wanted to look at Simon. All right, Simon's at 192. All right, they're up. Got a nice little pump from what's this, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday of last week. They got a nice little gap up from 185. It might be done. If there's any additional move in there, we probably missed it because they're gonna report after close. We don't have options. Hold on. Yeah, I'm not sure not why they're not showing in Weemo. This is kind of expensive, but like I said, that move up has already kind of happened, so I wouldn't be taking a look at it. I don't know why it's not showing up. Oh, maybe I hit the wrong one. No. There we go. Now we can get the chain. So these are up. Like I said, they've already kind of moved pretty widespread because there's probably low volume and open interest. So we wouldn't touch it. I probably still listen to it just so I can see how, what are their plans for the future? How is it playing out? What's in the news? What are they planning to do for the future? So I'm going to get on over to Davita. So again, Davita gearing up for Q4. Analysts project a 6.4 revenue growth to 3.5.1 billion. Adjusted earnings 3.19 a share, despite a 4.3 drop in share price. So definitely worth a look, but I probably wouldn't be trading it because it doesn't meet my criterion. Most of my clients in my one-on-one know what that criterion is. So again, option change fairly thin. We're not gonna go out here. I'm just gonna listen to it to see what they expect going forward. So biggies, let's head into the big ones. So we're gonna start with PayPal. I told y'all I'm real big on the buy now and pay laters because this is how a lot of people are surviving, and they have to pay. Here's on the daily. We can see this thing is down and down bad. Let's go up on a weekly. Yeah, are we finding a support? There's a support here at 50. So we could see this drop to 50 and then bounce back up, but we're about to hit that double bottom. So let's come over here for PayPal. And the thing with the buy now pay later is again they're giving the people the products. I've seen a lot of news of people running to the plug. Hey Wes, thank you for checking in. Running off on the plug, people will get the credit, go purchase an item, go resell it, and do not plan to pay these people back. They've been having people in Best Buy. I think Best Buy I think in Detroit, they said they're not even letting people use Klarna because people are coming in there buying all the iPhones and Apple products and then burning. They're not paying back the bill back, or they're just using other people's buy now, pay later, coming in there buying a lot of products and then just burning those accounts. So we want to see what kind of things PayPal is going to do in place to kind of cut that down. But I could see them dropping to 50. They do. We see that volume and open interest sitting well at 50 and 51. I'm gonna actually write that one down so I don't forget. So PayPal looks to be more bearish to the downside. PayPal bearish probably till 50 puts. Then we can go out and look at those monthly, see are people sitting in those monthly. There's a lot of activity on the 50 for the monthly. You're going to pay 150 for that. So I like the weekly and the monthly for 220 on puts with PayPal. On the opposite side, a little bit of activity, not that much for calls. They seem to be more bearish, and this might be more bearish sentiment. Now on the weekly, we have more activity on the volume and open interest, but it seemed to me the chart just looks very bearish. We're selling down. We might get some support right there, then a bounce. That doesn't mean both calls and puts can't print. We might get another leg down, find support, and then pop back up. But that's what I see for PayPal. Let's head on over to PepsiCo. Not a big mover, a oldie but a goodie. Pepsi looks bullish. So with ATR, we'd be looking probably at a 155 call on Pepsi. They look strong. Let's look at the put side first, just so we're not biased. So the chain, little thin, again, a little bit more here, but like I said, 155. A little pricey. Bid and ask is not too bad. A little bit wide here, but I am bullish on Pep. Who else we got? Merck. Merck looks very bullish. We got another, $2, so we can get 110 to 115 on Merck. Strong V recovery forming. So let's check out Merck. Look at put, so we're not biased. Chain is thin. I don't like it. And don't like that the chain is thin like that. Making for a much wider spread. But Merck looks bullish. Yeah, I got any feedback on the ones that I'm getting and what y'all see, let me know. I love Pfizer, so let's take a look at Pfizer. Very affordable, easy. Again, we're about to hit a double top, but it still looks bullish. So kind of on the low, I probably would go probably not any lower than 25 psychologically, and on the high, no higher than probably 28, just because this doesn't move fast and we do not want to sit in those weeklies. Why aren't we sitting in the weeklies? Because the ATR is less than 1. So don't play in those Pfizer weeklies. You will get burned if you're on the wrong side. We got activity on both calls and put sides, but way more activity on the call. So again, you could take a gamble with the weekly, but I would probably give myself a little more time so there's no IV crush. There we go. I like the PFE 27. 27 call for 220. Much better. We cut out that risk management by being in that weekly. And yes, it's about half the price to be in the weekly, but we're giving ourselves some safety by buying more time. All right, who's next? AMD. IBM got a big push. So AMD is up there. Let me just go back to IBM. We looked at IBM last, and there's their earnings. Got a nice little pump. So we're going to go AMD. Kind of giving us a little kind of W pattern. So this could go either way. And they're sitting at all time. So we want to look at 240s. Sorry. Yeah, 240. Let's go back down on a daily. There's that resistance at 267. But if we come back down here to support to 225, that's where I'd want to see where people are at. And these are probably going to be priced. Yeah, they're going to be juiced. I knew they'd be juiced for the week. Look at that 220. Like I said, open interest, volume and open interest. And then we could go to the call side. I said no more than that 260. But yeah, a little bit more activity in those puts. But this is pricey, so definitely not for beginners. This is going to be out of most people's budgets. But AMD, a little bit bearish, but this is 50-50. I can't really tell how they're faring. But again, to come down to about this 220 on puts, it could still pop back up. Here's their last earnings. Looks like I got a little bit of a pop, then a drop. So be careful if you're looking at AMD and trying to get in. Thank you so much. Hey, Dr. Trash, how you doing? Finally catching a live. Good to see some gems. Yes, we're going through earnings for this week. We had a bunch of great plays for last week that played out, got people paid. So we just want to do it this week. SMCI. So super micron. Again, this thing looks very bearish. This is the monthly. There's the support. If we break that, got another move to like 25. Do buyers come back in? But this thing is struggling hard. So we want to take a look at the chain to see where the money resides. So put side, yeah, 28 on that put. We don't want to go far, and it's not too expensive. A lot of people sitting in that 31 though. So this is kind of an even split on that volume, a little bit more toward the bullish side. So maybe people are thinking this is where they step up, and this is a buying opportunity. So they're looking at the 31. The chart looks very bearish to me, so I would be very cautious in these calls. Take that 20 or 30% return if you get it, and then get up out of there. Let's go to Chipotle. We're rolling. We're 30 minutes in, and I'm covering a lot of bases. I thought this would go take a little bit of longer time, but these are like hook 'em and book 'em. So call side, probably back up to this resistance 40. I'll probably look at 40 right here. If we got more bearish side, 36 within $2, like up to 40 psychologically, down to probably 36. They've been struggling, and let's look at the news for them. So analysts forecast 0.24 earnings per share, 2.98 in revenue, reviving the chicken al pastor to enhance the menu. So we'll just have to see. Like I said, puts down to about 36. Nobody's really on the train right here. So nobody cares. Let's go out to the monthly, see if we got some more. There it is. There's the money. Got a lot of OI on that 37.5. That's a lot of standout right there. So 37.5, you got 14K on the 40. So kind of a split, but you got way more open interest on that 37.5. So keep an eye out. I wouldn't trade this. It's just not giving me a sentiment to either direction. So I would just kind of wait it out. If you're coming in and you're new and you're catching the replay, drop replay. Let me know where you're checking in from. What companies are you looking at this week in earnings? If I see if I cover it, and if I don't, I can definitely circle back to it. We got Enphase. Now, Corey and By the Hood all was very heavy on Enphase. So I just want to take a look because I haven't watched it in a while. So I was just wanted to see how they were doing. Ooh, they've been selling off since 2024. So now it's look like they're picking back up for that V recovery, but there is a double top right there. You can see it at about 41. So we could check calls on Enphase. And Enphase at about $2. Yeah, so probably looking at high out at 40. A little activity at 40. But this train, I don't like it. I'd probably go out to the monthly so we can see if there's more activity. A little more OI, and then there's the 40. So again, I'd rather buy more time on Enphase and get the 40. I like the volume and open interest here. So Enphase, and this is a paper trade. I wouldn't take this one. It's just a little wonky, but this is going to be 1.8, and that's for 40C to 20. All right, we got Uber. So, autonomous vehicle driving taxi industry. Oh, very bearish, but very double bottomish. Probably 78 or 82 for Uber. Does anybody here take Uber? Do you guys? There's my lovely wife showing some support. I appreciate it. What the hell? Why so much open interest and volume on AMD? Is that from institution taking position? It very much so can. So this is how we go, and we go hunt the chain. Go find where they're kind of slipping in some contracts, and that way we can get a little bit of edge. We may not know the catalyst behind, but they start to get in and start getting in positions, and we take advantage of that. So let's hop over and see what's the news for Uber in anticipation with headlines. All right. Backed by 1.1 billion investment and plans to deploy 25,000 robo taxis. Now, I'm not a taxi rider. I have taken taxis before. But even when I'm in New York, I like to drive a car, or I'll take the subway. I'd rather take the subway versus getting in a taxi. And there's so many safety measures. I actually did a survey over these kind of rideshare things, and giving safety being the biggest thing. You need visibility inside those vehicles. You need some kind of man, even if not having a person drive it. You need kind of like a human touch to know that that person's going to be safe. There can always be malfunction. There can always be cyber hacking where it could lead this person to somewhere they were not trying to go. So that's one of my biggest concerns when it comes to these robo taxis. Some people find them safer than being in a car with a person when it comes to that all those assaults and violence that occurs when you're having a person. But there could also be some kind of off trains of safety when it comes to these robo taxis. So got to keep that in mind. But again, the train on Uber, we said it's a little 50-50, a little more at 74. I wouldn't go that far out the money. And as far as calls, I don't really like the train. Let's go out to the monthly. Yeah, I love the monthly a lot better. So if you're bullish on them, get the 85. I like the volume and the open interest there. If you're bearish, I like the 75. So we got like a 50-50 on Uber and 75 and 85. Yeah, 75, 85 for puts and calls. I probably wouldn't touch that one. Next up, Lilly. Getting back into the medicine, all of the weight loss drugs and things. We got a little, probably a bouncer. I'm probably not gonna touch this. Lilly, look at Lilly. Look at Lilly share price is over $1,000. This chain is not gonna be pretty, and are not in most people warehouses. So in the money, yeah, we ain't touching it. We can just imaginary, but the chain's gonna be thin. It's just 3,000 a contract. Yeah, we can just watch and see what Lily gonna do. I wouldn't even make an offering for what contracts you could take, but if it pulls back to 1,000 or probably up to 1050, but yeah, up 1050 down to that kind of 1,000 support right there at that wick. So Lily, even though we're not gonna trade it, we're gonna say 1K on the put side and 1050 on the call side, but I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. What y'all think? What y'all think about Uber, Lily? We're gonna side into Nova Disc. And we're halfway through the hour, halfway through this list. Nova Disc looks a little bit more bullish, but they are gonna hit this double top right here. Slow mover. So we're looking at 61, 60, 61 to the upside and probably 58, 57 to the downside. And I say 58, 57. Yeah, right there at the 57. That's where the people are at. And we say 60. We got 60, 62 on the call side. Volume and OI, not that bad. So this is a 50-50 split. It could go either way. We really want to see, can it hold 60? If it can hold 60, we can see that. If we can't go reclaim 60, that 58, 57 would definitely be in play. We can see it's in that bearish gap right here. Hey, Slakisha, thank you for checking in. I see who we got next. Ambi, just for kids. Let's take a look at Ambi. What is Ambi? ABBV. Sitting in the middle, seeing kind of this channel. So we could see a bounce back down to that 210 or could get a pop to like 230. So 230, 210 for Ambi. Let's go check out the chain. 230 on the upside. Little bit of OI. Yeah, I don't like it right here on the weeklies. Let's see some more people on the monthly. A little more. I'll say don't touch Ambi. It's not worth it. We could trade anything else. So heavy hitter. Let's get into Google with the L. Woo. That daily looks very bullish. So we're looking at 340 or probably a loss down to about 330. If you're enjoying this, drop some fire emojis or some sevens. Let me know y'all are still with me and that y'all are enjoying this. So again, 335 to the upside, 340. A little bit of activity, 345, 350. But we're in all-time highs. Again, pullbacks to 330 I wouldn't go lower than that. I don't really like the chain in here. Oh, I forget. So we get weeklies. Sorry, we're getting Monday, Wednesday, Fridays on Google. So I don't like this one. I would just go out and look at the Friday contract. Much better. The chain still sucks, but they've opened up these in between weeklies. We're seeing some activity there. So, but before you start jumping into these um midweek, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, kind of watch how it plays out for a couple of days and then start getting into them. I think they're just going to be big liquidity grabs. So don't get trapped in getting into those cheaper contracts. Still continue to buy your time. So like I said, 330, 320 is a little out there and it's still fairly pricey. But we see a lot of right here at that 350, a lot of activity right here. So but is it worth it? If I'm purchasing this contract for 380 and I anticipated moving up to 350 or toward 350, let's say we get $10, that's gonna be a $38 delta with the $29 theta. So if I add a zero to that, so 380, not bad, um, but not great. I'd at least want a 50-50, even 70-30 if I'm if I'm gonna put 800 in a contract with a risk of probability and being $12 outside the money. So we can just definitely paper trade Google. Next one is ARM. Thank you guys for letting you know. Jarrell, you need to get with me. Uber chief legal officer has been selling his shares since November, and that's very telling. When the inside starts selling, that should let you know it's time to jump ship. He's not going to continue to sell from November and trying to buy back in. He knows something big is coming, unless he's trying to reposition. But usually keep that at heat if they're doing all that selling. But thank you guys for dropping those fire emojis, letting me know to continue on. So we got ARM. ARM looks very bearish and it's been in a downtrend. You got another low to 80, but you got a little bit of a support right here at probably at 100. So you'd be looking at 100 to 80. If it bounces back up, I wouldn't look any further than maybe calls to 110 on ARM. So calls at to 110. A little bit of activity on the 110, and then I said 100. Nobody's out there. So if they don't care, I don't care. There's the 100. Skip over it's a dud. I'm gonna do Qualcomm. Qualcomm bears 151. We should probably be looking at 150. 150, 145. We're back to the top. 165, 155, 160. So within $5 incrementals on Qualcomm. So 150, 145. Nobody's out here. Then to the upside, 160. It's almost ready. Not quite. And then we'll go out to the monthly to see if people are sitting further out. Way more OI out there. A lot of OI right here at the 160, but I wouldn't touch Qualcomm either. I don't like it. I don't like the way the chain looks. So again, when it comes to the manufacturing of cars, you're going to start to see the prices of retail or resale in the used car energy pick back up again because people are not going to want those features of having breathalyzers or having kill switches implied. So you're going to see junkyards pick up. People are going to want to go get those parts. My car's been trucking. I got over 300,000 miles on my Toyota. I do drive and I travel a lot. We do a lot of travel back and forth, just cross country. I like it. I like being in a car. I like being able to take everything I need, and it cuts down on like doing the holidays, trying to mail back gifts and stuff like that. So I do a lot of traveling. My parents are 300 miles away, so back and forth that's 600 just to go travel there if I'm not catching a plane. But let's take a look at O'Reilly. And that is not how it is. What is O'Reilly? O-R-O-Y? O'Reilly. All right, looks bearish. We got a V recovery and this thing's coming down. So I probably look at 95 on the put side and 100 to the upside. RLY. There's the 95. They're sitting in the 90s. And then I said 100 on the upside. Little OI there. And they only have the monthlies, but still don't touch this. They only have the monthlies. They're not going to move that much. Spread is fairly wide, so O'Reilly we'll just observe. We'll just observe O'Reilly. Wanted to look at Snap for the kids because they are still into Snapchat, but is Snapchat profitable? You can see them down in support. If you didn't know, a company will get delisted if their share price drops below $1 for 30 consecutive days. So they look like they're on the brink of breaking this level. So I'm probably very bearish on this. You can take a $6 put right in the money, but if it bounces, this thing moves very slow. So you bet not touch a weekly on this at all. You need to be inside of monthly contract. So I'll let y'all look at them, but you definitely don't need to touch them. So $30 for a 6.5 put, or we can just go to the 20 and $30. Yeah, get out here. Don't trade her. Somebody thinks they're bullish on this. They got an $8. There's a lot of activity at 8, but I don't see it. Some people may know something we don't know, but at $26, it's worth the risk to want to play it out. But a lot of people are bullish at thinking this is going to get a pop. But the ATR is 31. I could see them popping, but it's not going to move that much. Even earnings here, $7 to about $7.90. It ain't moving $8. It's just not. It might not even move $1 based on earnings. So even if you get into this contract for $29, you get 31. It's gotta move, and you gotta get it right off the bat. So once earnings print and you see it, you take profit. If you get into this, this is not gonna one that's gonna hold for a long time, because people who have been in the play right here, they're looking for an exit here. They're in this channel. Enter, exit, enter, exit. This is entry. They're waiting for a pop to exit. So do not hold that. If you get it and you win, go ahead and sell that. Get out of that contract. Can you explain what is liquidity grab? I hear that a lot and I don't understand what it is. So when they go up, they can see the order blocks. They see orders sitting there and they'll go up there and grab those orders and they can still bring price down. So if you watch level 2 inside of Webull, or if you watch ticker tape, if you're in like, I think Trade Station and stuff like that, you will see where the orders are popping in and where they're trying to fill. They'll come down and grab those orders and then bring price back up. So I've done it inside of Robinhood. Like if I'm trying to get a feel on a contract and I'm not going to chase it, I just go in and put the amount I won't feel that, and I just leave it alone. They're going to come down and pick up my money, and I usually get picked up, and then I'm in the contract up $2 or $3 because I had them come down and grab my money. So I was liquidity. They came down. Well, I was involved in the liquidity. I don't say don't ever be liquidity. Liquidity is when they come in and they get your money and you never get to exit. But they came up and got my contract, and then I'm able to get out the trade later. So you don't always have to chase. You can get in the contract at the price that you want. You just have to set it. You just got to go in there and put a limit order versus a market order. I thought O'Reilly would have been a better train. You would think so, but they're not. We can also compare it to Advance, which had been selling. What is it? Advance Auto. If I could spell. Advanced Auto Parts. So they're at 48. Let's see if their train's a little bit better, because that's another one that we can look at AAP in regards to O'Reilly. And I know they were closing down quite a few stores. So let's see if they look any better and might get some sympathy. Yeah. Shane's still very thin to be able to trade it. Yeah, I wouldn't touch that one either. Excuse me. Elf beauty and health. Beauty industry, $1 billion industry. How they're doing? Oh, that's a big gap from earnings. So you can see they had great earnings, sold off great earnings. We had a pop, Great earnings pop, but this earnings was a drop. So let's look at the last quarter. Here's that February, it had a drop. So if history repeats itself, this could probably go down, but this train is probably going to be ugly. But we can see this being more bearish. Elf is at 85, so I would probably be looking at 85, 80, between 85 and 80 puts. Chain is thin, so we're not going to sit and play in this. They're much easier contracts to grab than these. We can go out to the monthly. Oh, where am I at? 80s. Yeah, we're not touching F. It'll just be to see how sentiment is around beauty in the healthcare industry. Are they being profitable? But we wouldn't trade this. Going over from beauty, I'm gonna just go ahead and jump into Estee Lauder because I want you guys to see this chart. And we're gonna go all the way out. Here's Estee Lauder. What is this big blue line? This is going to be the support. This is from code. This is the support. They are well under that. So this is COVID. Everybody hit their COVID lows. This is that high area right here at about 337. What can they get back to 337? I don't know. They got to do something. But you can see earnings have been pretty steady and they've been continuing to pump. So this next mark of resistance is 160, but they are still well below COVID lows. Before I would even touch this, I would go back and listen to their previous earnings call to see what did they say they were going to do better and how is that coming along, and see what do they say I'm going forward from here. How investors may respond to Estee Lauder's turnaround momentum. I don't know how momentum is. It looks better, but we don't know for long term, and they only have monthly, so we definitely wouldn't trade this. This could be one that you could buy partial shares and let those shares recover, but I wouldn't trade them. But listening to L's call and Estee Lauder can see where's the turn for the beauty industry. COP back in oil. Exxon is booming, so we could see COP boom. I haven't looked at this chain. I usually just like to watch Exxon because the train is good. So I'm not really sure how ConocoPhillips would look. But if we get calls, it's not horrible, but it's still not that great as potential on the chain. Again, I want that volume and open interest. There they are. We got them at 105, but it's 270. We could still trade something better and not put so much risk on our side. So probably bullish on them. Got Energizer. Oh, that's not it. What is that? EN. It is ENR. Yeah, ENR. Did I hit the right one? ENR. There we go. Energizer. Looks very bearish. It's kind of sitting in the middle though. Probably wouldn't be worth trading, but we'll take a look at the chain. ENR. Energizer. Yeah. Ain't nobody trading this thing. Nobody cares. Thin chain, low volume, not touching Energizer. Cigna. We're 1 hour in. We got a few more to go. Don't want to hold y'all whole Saturday up. Probably down to 250s and maybe up to 280. But this is probably going to be ugly, so we probably won't trade this one at all either. We can just take a look. Yeah. Thinner chain, more expensive contracts. We're not touching it. Getting to our heavy hitters again. So back up, ramp back up the excitement. Back to Amazon. I'm bullish on Amazon. Get your shares as this thing starts when it's down, just DCA, down DCA, down DCA. If anytime they were down, you bought, you're not disappointed. So always DCAing Amazon. Get you some Amazon shares. Load the boat. Plan to pass those on to your kids. So if we're still bullish, we could probably see it retrace a high. I would give this probably 240, 240, 250, 245 on the upside, and then like 235 on a pullback. When it comes to their earnings, they beat and they can still pull back. So just be aware that we can be bullish and Amazon can be a great company and doing well, but it just all depends on if investors want to keep cash there as security or if they want to let it roll. So put side, we got 230, 235s and 230s. On the call side, like I said, 240s up to probably 250s, and it's affordable to jump in these on the weekly. That's the Monday though, and then they're going to be reporting Thursday. So we really want to be looking at Friday contracts, and they're pretty heavy. They're heavy on both sides. So this one's a 50-50. I'm bullish on them as a company, but the option chain, the chart, it could still sell down just based on historic when it comes to Amazon. What else I say? Roblox. Ooh, they're down. They're down a lot. That's the weekly. Let's go up on a daily. So since October, they're down quite a bit. They're in this buy zone right here. So if I bring this over in that gap, they'd have to get back above 75. This thing is look like it's down. I'd be looking down for like at least 60 to 50 puts and then buy it back up. I just don't see them going anywhere. They have a good following with the space that they're in, but this could just be down momentarily. Puts are already printing. I just don't like the chain. Go out to February. Yeah, those contracts are up. I'm bearish on it, but the chain is just not the best to look at. So if you're okay with widespread, you can take it on a put. But I'd be careful when it comes to Roblox because I think they have some more downtime. Now, I was always curious as to why Reddit went publicly traded, but they do a lot of ad spend. Why is this on? I think I was showing somebody how I don't trade online markers. I use my candlesticks because that helps me better. So let me go. Why is it? Why don't you want it? I guess if I make sure I got the right one. There we go. Put it back on candles. But this looks bearish. These are probably going to be super expensive. So probably 170, 160 to the 150. And then back up about no more than 200. How do you know if you should be looking at daily, weekly, or monthly? Well, you're basing it off earnings. Earnings are super risky, so it's better to buy yourself more time when you're swinging, so you don't get IV crushed. So if I'm a short term trader and I'm looking for quick turnarounds, I can look at the dailies. But you want to be, if you're in a daily, getting in before lunch and then getting back out. You don't want to hold that all day. Your weeklies, you want to get in Monday or Tuesday and be back out. And then your monthly, if for your long term, you're just buying more time on your investment. The more time you buy is always going to be better. Buy what you can afford as close to the money as you can. Thank you for Rethink Rich. I think you're new here. Thank you for stopping by. All right, we got some more to go. Before we ramp up, we got some more. We got about 3 or 4 more. I want to just stop and give the sponsor of the show. Sponsor of the show is Know Better, Do Better. So if you've ever wanted to work with me or you're struggling with your options, I do have a 2 for 1. So they're 2 for $100 one-on-one sessions. They're customized. Kind of what I do here, breaking down stocks and tickers or live trading. We can do that together. Some people just say, "Hey, I need you to look at my chart when I'm live. Why am I missing my entries and exits and things like that?" So those 2 for 1s, you can see the ticker scrolling across the bottom of the screen. You'll send that to Zelle or Cash App for your 2 for 1s. If you're purchasing more than 5, you can send me an email. And just say, "Hey Doc, I want 5 or I want 10. The max is 10. I don't want to talk to y'all more than 10 times. This year. So you can hop in and grab those. But send me a link if you want to use your credit card or use Klarna or Afterpay. Make sure you shoot me an email. I'll send you a pay link. But other than that, it's through Zelle or Cash App. You're able to purchase those 2 for 100. It will end at midnight on tomorrow. So I was giving people through the weekend because I was like, "Hey, I'm going to do this show." And so people might be new to me and they still may want to tap in and get a one-on-one with me before that sale goes off. Does that rule apply to SPY as well? I'm new to trading. but SPY is usually an easy scalp on zero DTE. Yeah. So again, buying SPY contracts before lunch. Now I trade SPY all day, and it has multiple ranges where you can jump in and jump out. But before SPY had all that liquidity, we could only trade SPY Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So on Mondays after about lunch, you weren't grabbing a 2 o'clock a Tuesday contract. You were grabbing a Wednesday contract. So if you struggle with entering exit or getting burned overnight, switch back to trading Monday. Like on Monday, you're grabbing Wednesday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Tuesday, you're grabbing Wednesday or Thursday contract. Take some of that IV out of the contract and make it easier to manage. But yes, I do trade zero DTE on SPY, IWM, and QQQ. But you only want to hold those zero DTEs till about lunch, and then be out. You're not trying to hold. It's not going to recover too much if you're holding it after the day and it's under 50%. So just be careful there. Back off my soapbox. We're back on a firm. This is looking bearish. Again, it's at that double bottom. It could find some buyers here at 60. If not, we could see a drop down into those 50s. They have beat every earnings, and you can see they beat earnings and then fell and then ran back up. This one looks more of a beat and run up. So it's always a gamble when it comes to earnings, guys. These companies can beat and still fall off, so it's just always risky. So you just want to make sure you buy time so you're not getting caught up in any theta burn. I'm not seeing a lot of no sway on the chain and neither on the monthly. So it's a 50-50. This is one we don't have to touch. We could definitely paper trade. Who's next? I think Rise at 16. Never traded it, but looks bullish. Could be back up to about 45 CNC. But that looks like a bullish run. Put side, we want to be right in the money. Nobody's trading this stuff. So off the weeklies into the monthly. Little activity, all right, but nobody cares. So yeah, 16, I wouldn't trade it, but you can definitely watch to see where the move is going to be. I think I said Under Armour. We're actually moving faster than last time. I guess I wasn't explaining and teaching so much, but again, low contract. We'll probably just move slow. You be looking at the monthlies on this. It probably ain't gonna do much. Kind of like a firework that just makes a whole lot of noise and then duds out. A couple of people are bearish here, and these are the already on the monthly contract. So yeah, nothing for Under Armour. And then I said Toyota. Oh, looks like it's fairly bullish. But I know this chain isn't gonna be pretty. So 230. Yeah. Ugly chain. So that's about it. Those are what I had. If y'all got anything else y'all want to look at, drop them in the chat. If you got any questions, let me know. If you enjoyed this, again, drop those sevens in the chat. If I should keep bringing these each week doing earnings week, should I keep doing this? Should we keep the series of earnings going? Y'all let me know. Or you say, oh, this wasn't that great. Y'all gonna give me some feedback. Are y'all finding value in going through the earnings before the week? So let's get into the news while y'all drop that in the chat. We want to take a look at Forex Factory and see what news we have. So we're going to have PMI on Monday. Bostic speaking, he's usually fairly bearish. Barkin and Bowman. Then we're going to have Jote's job opening. If more jobs, again, what are Jote's job openings? Number of jobs opening during the reported month. Excluding farming industry. So we want to see how if we're getting more jobs into the market. It shows us what they anticipate and what actually, how many they actually have. We're going to have ADP non-farm employment change. We're going to have PMI. We're going to have Cook. Then we got unemployment claims on Thursday. Average hourly earnings, unemployment rate, non-farm employment change. So we got a few red folders, and that could impact the week. Thank you guys. I'm glad y'all are enjoying this. For big earnings week, absolutely. And this is definitely a big one. Thank you, L. Vickers. Thank you so much. I'll definitely keep an eye on. Again, if they're boring, I'll probably just drop a video so we don't have to go through them all. Y'all kind of see the pattern. I want you guys to get a pattern and understanding of how I do break down the earnings for the upcoming week. That way you can do it yourself. Even if I don't come on, you still have an understanding of how to break down what you should look at for earnings. I like it all. The earnings prep, the news, the QA, also the breakdown videos. Thank you, Raj. Thank you so much. I am getting big value in preparing for the week. Thank you, guys. I'm just glad, sometimes I'm talking to the screen, the chat comes in slow, so I'm just making sure like I'm not just talking to myself and blowing wind up my own. But if you guys find value, I definitely want you guys to start using the community wall. I believe you guys can post on there. So if you take any of these earnings and get big wins, let's communicate with each other. Let the community know which trades y'all are taking, which one you took from earning that you're playing out as just your one to watch, or you're going to put on your watch list. Drew Skim, thank you so much. Very important. Thank you. I think you're new here. Thank you for showing up. I don't know if you do it, but content around risk management and mindset might be cool too. Okay, I am. People have been giving me feedback. Somebody said they wanted me to do a video on psychology. So, do you guys have any concerns on the psychology behind your trading? Would you guys want me to do a video on psychology, or would you guys want to come in like this live? We won't do it today, but I could just set a day and we do like psych one-on-one, stock market psych one-on-one, and we live trade and we talk. Well, not live trade, but we talk about it live. You guys are able to ask me questions about the psychology around the money, and you kind of address what the things you're actually dealing with and how we can kind of combat those. So let me know what else. So risk management, I'll definitely cover risk management. I can put that on the calendar for this upcoming week. We got mindset. Like I said, somebody else said psychology. We've already incorporated earnings. 777 earnings breakdowns are super. And y'all let me know too. Let me put this out here. We're into February. We're in the 1st of February, and I want to do some interviews with some of you that work with me. So if you work with me, and you're not camera shy and you want to come on, we do like 15 minutes to 30 minutes to talk about what it is to have a one-on-one with me, what got you in the market, and how it's going with you so far. So if anybody's interested, just definitely shoot me an email. I'm lining it up for this week. So I'm looking for 4 people for this week. This month. After those 4, I'll be scheduling people for March. So if you're not camera shy, you can come on board. If you have a product or a service, you can definitely promote that. You be the sponsor of the show. If it's a product, I would say you need to send me the product so we can get real reviews. But if it's a digital product or service, you can shoot it over to me. I evaluate if I think it's good. You can definitely be the sponsor of the show and promote your item, whether it's physical or digital. Stock market psychology would be great. All right. So do y'all want the stock market psychology? Do y'all want me to do a video on psychology of the market, or do we want to talk about it live? Is this something y'all want to exchange and ask different questions about? Again, I want this channel to be, this is not a channel about me or my ego. This is about what you guys really need and what's going to be beneficial for you. And while I'm doing that, while y'all are dropping it, if you missed it on Friday, there were a bunch of news. We had Trump speaking. We had Powell speaking. So let's go back to the history. Where is mine? History. There we go. So, and if you want to listen to previous earnings, you can go to the channel Earn More and be able to listen to those. But where is the video? I thought I could go back a little bit further on Friday. Here we go. So Jerome Powell live. So Jerome Powell spoke, and then Trump. If you got some time, take a listen to both of these. If listening to these videos kind of stump you out,
we have got to the point.
You can come in and just take the video and then come into Perplexity or Chat GPT and say, hey, summarize this video for me as a beginner stock options trader. Because a lot of the time the jargon and verbiage can kind of go over your head. So you can use Perplexity or ChatGPT to, oh dang, I didn't give it the video. I guess I should have gave it the video. Oh.
A day to 240.
Crap. So when I come in, it did it based off the last Verizon stuff. So I gotta give it the video. So you give your chat the things to do. Prompt that in, and now let's see if we get the results. So I gave it the news. What about the video? What matters in the market? How do you do it as a beginner's option trader? So I can have it expound on that. But when you start to get into detail, any materials that may be hard to digest mentally, or even just because you're new to the market, bring it over here and have it break it down for you. Super helpful tool when you're struggling to understand. But we've gone through earnings. I also want to look at the seasonality chart. Diamond Dave always looks at this on equity clock. And last year, we sold off in February due to Trump initiating tariffs. We already have tariff talk now, so he could say, "Hey, haha, I'm faking," or he can start imposing new percentages, or there could be WAR. There could be a lot of catalysts that gives us the same sentiment or a pullback in February, or we get the pullback earlier than mid-month because we can see on the higher time frames. We hit those every time we hit those all-time highs, we sell off. And so let me hide some of this. Don't judge my chart or just because we're on a higher time frame. But this looks very bearish. But we're just as close as to getting to 700 as we are to selling down to a lower support. So it's easier to come down a mountain than to go up the mountain. So remember that when we're trading, like we can see all-time highs and just easily sell clean back off due to profit taking. It doesn't have to be a catalyst. It's just profit taking. Those that bought SPY at the beginning of 2025 and it was 574, why wouldn't they profit take once SPY hit 700 at the top of this year? It's quite natural that they would do so, and even hedge funds and brokerages. So don't take it personal. Even if you're bullish on certain companies and they start to pull back, it's really natural. So again, take advantage of the 2-for-1 sale. If you ever wanted to work with me, this is the cheapest it's going to be. After this sale, they will not ever be $50 again. We might get a Valentine's Day special, but this 2-for-1 is going away midnight tomorrow. So if you think you want to work with me in the future, if you feel like I provide guidance for you, I just say lock in now. As long as I'm breathing, the one-on-ones do not expire. So take advantage of them now. I saw people struggling. I decided to do a deal, especially while people were snowed in. I think a lot of places are still snowed in. The roads are not clear. So if you want to, definitely take advantage of it now. You're just going to pay more in the future. The only thing that's kind of stumping me is how the market makers play ball, like the way they move the market with hedges and short covering. I just hop in after confirmation and get out ASAP. Gotta give it a little bit more patience. Give your contracts more time. Now, if we knew what the market makers playbook would be or how they do, we'd all be rich and they will probably go broke. So we're not going to always know exactly what they're going to do, but we're just about looking in the market and finding our own edge so we can pull, a little bit of the money out. I mean, we definitely don't make a dip at all trillion, billion-trillion-dollar industry, and we're pulling out a couple of thousand millions. We'd have to pull out a whole lot of money as a collective for them to even look our way, but we don't. So it's just a matter of staying ahead of the game, watching the news, seeing how the charts play out so we can get that little bit of edge so we can make some money. But if y'all got any more questions, drop them in the chat. Again, I appreciate everybody showing up. And we'll see what next week earnings bring, if there's some major ones, or we'll hop on and discuss those. We will get some live trading. I believe we will live trade in the morning. Let me see if I got somebody scheduled. And if I don't, I'll be on in the morning. Yeah. So I'll probably set a live. You'll see the see it scheduled, and we'll hop on in the morning. We'll probably do Monday and maybe Thursday. Wednesday, I have somebody, and Tuesdays I trade myself. Tuesdays and Fridays are usually like my off day. So be sure to tap in on Monday. Oh yeah, let's look at silver and gold. They've been running, and looking at the dollar and Bitcoin. I guess I should have tapped on those as well. So we can see the dollar headed down. Should have had a double bottom right there at the bottom of that bullish candle. So we can see a little bit of bounce, and then we saw the sell off of gold and silver. I think they'll pick back up. Excuse me, got below 70 and still climbing back up. But again, profit taking. Hit those highs, got that profit taking. Same thing with gold. And most people say, oh, it's a scam. I jumped in gold at 460. Now I'm down. And it was up to 500. Well, you didn't take profit. Did you have any idea of where you wanted to take profit? Did you have any idea of what was going to be your exit plan? A lot of times we mess up because we go into the trade and it's like, Chastity, when do I take profit? What do I do? I'm like, before you even take the trade, I teach you as one of my clients, you need to know how much you are willing to risk or lose in that play. I already know, but my risk tolerance may be different from yours. So before you even get into trading options and before you take that trade, you need to know what's your exit plan. I'm getting in the contract for $500. I'm out at 50%, or I'm out at a 10% loss. These are things of percentages or numbers that you need to know before you ever take any of the trade. But I think we find some support. This is a big earnings week, so as long as it's not too bad, it'll be good. But February, I do expect for us to pull back some more. So yeah, keep that in mind. BTC, DCA, dollar cost average sustain, get you some more. I think we had that lower level. We might get another drop to 74 and then bounce. And then outside of that 74, we got another support at 73 and then 66. So lower than that, we're back in September at the 50s. So again, DCAing, it's not going to hurt you. People that bought here last time, they rode the wave back up. People that bought here last time got a way back up. I mean, it's always a buying opportunity when you're buying something that's an asset. And I made a comparison. People go out here and Bath & Body Works run their candles on sale for $10 or $12 that are regular $30. Go buy you a Bath & Body Works candle, and whatever it is, set that receipt under that candle and just sit it there. And just don't. You can burn it or not, whatever you decide to do with it. Just see how much that candle is going to be worth in a year. Then look at that same price that you bought that Bath and Body Works candle of. Buy that same amount in BTC, and then see how much it's going to be worth. And I even did the experiment. What would, and I think it's about 30%, if I buy, there it is. If you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin right now at 77, and then it goes back to 100, you've gotten almost a 30% return. And people are like, well, that's just $30. How much does $100 in your savings account with your bank get you? Even in a year, in 10 years, you're getting pennies on the dollar for letting your saving $100 sit in your savings account. You can make your money make you some money. And again, you can add another zero here. You can say this is $1,000. Your $1,000 made you almost, $300. So we're looking at the long term as far as the investment giving us a return. So you just have to keep it in mind. It's all about perspective and making sure, if you want to be a negative Nancy about it, be the negative Nancy about it. I like to have a more positive perspective. And even if it's a negative, how can I get a return out of it? Nice. I've been waiting for Bitcoin to drop. I hope for 60, 65. I'm buying more at 75 than DCA. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. So again, I'm no guru. I'm no genius. I just do know how to read a chart, and I do know how to read, and I know how to process data. So that's one advantage. I was trying to think about it because I was just like, I don't think I'm anything special from than other people. And then I really am special. I have a medical background, so that does give me more privilege to data and how you process data to get results. When I went through doing research and things, we're not getting results, and we don't do experiments to prove ourselves right. We're proving something to be definitive or not. Does this actually solve the problem? So if you start trading around not being right or wrong, but just proving the definitive of, will SPY go back to this level? If it doesn't, okay, I didn't make a return, or I should have been inside of a put. So I think about trading in more of a scientific standpoint than in a egotistical, I have to be right type of standpoint. And again, we'll get into that, into the psychology behind trading, how you can make this a very lucrative investment in yourself when you're trading, but also making it boring. My main phrase is boring trades pay the bills, not the exciting stuff. The boring trades pay the bills all the time. Like that Bank of America play, um, that's not what everybody's watching. That INH play, everybody probably had their eyes on Meta, Tesla, and Google. They probably didn't have their eyes set on United Health Group, and I'm sure they didn't have their eyes on AAL, which really could have paid somebody. And let's take a look at that trade. Let's go over the bar chart and let's look at that AAL trade, which was 14 put. I'm going to go down to the option prices. Again, I like to come over here to backtest those contracts. And what was AAL? Was AAL 320 or 220? AAL was the 220. So the 220 on AAL, and it was a $14 put. AAL on that $14 put added the 20th, somewhere around here. So $43 up to 93, and it still got plenty of time. This thing got time to kind of get itself back together. And you can see as AL was lower, I see when the last time AAL was back at this level. So November 19th, 20th. So if we come back on the chart to November 19th, 20th, this contract was well up to $200. So there's a lot of potential in this contract to keep rising as they fall. So again, taking the next step, looking at your contracts charts, help you play out like, am I buying at a low? Am I buying too high? Is it rejecting and reversing? This is another way that you can chart and get a little bit of edge. Is it true or false that we should not trade before earnings because of volatility? It's not a true or false question. It's about around the preparation. So there's a lot of ways that you can prep based on your risk. If a company is reporting, I would say for beginners, I would say trade up into earnings the day before, cut that trade, and you can trade the day of earnings and going forward. If you're a more experienced trader and you have a hunch, or you have some what do you call it, insider knowledge, or just a strong feeling, then you can trade through earnings. But I don't like to trade through earnings with more than 100, maybe $150, because it's just proper risk management. I'm not going into those $500-$600 contracts where you're probably far out the money and not going to see a return. So I keep the risk lower on my side and let the market play well for me. So that's why these contracts are pretty much cheap to most people, but they're affordable. And if you buy more, you can still see the same type of return. So not so much a true or false, but it's just the way you manage around it. Like, I wouldn't say the true or false you should drive or not drive in the rain, or at all. People who know how to drive can drive. They got to know to look both ways. They need to know to wear a seatbelt, but that doesn't say that they won't get into a wreck. So it's not to say you won't get smashed trading earnings. You just got to be prepared to trade it. All right, guys, we got 8 more minutes. What other questions y'all got before we get up out of here? Again, I truly enjoyed you guys. I appreciate each and every last one of you for showing up. Consider subscribing to the channel, like it, share me with somebody else that may need to get this information and get into the market. Tag me on Facebook. You can go to my business page, drop it on there. You can reach me on multiple. You can reach me multiple ways. If you just do a Google search, Trade with Dr. Chaz. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. I'm on IG. So wherever you want to reach me, there's multiple ways where you can send me a DM. You can shoot me an email. I'm a real person and I'm here for the people. So definitely, have a comment, give a reaction. I appreciate your support by liking and subscribing and just sharing me with somebody else. So we got 7 more minutes. I'm gonna let the chat catch up with itself, and then we'll get on up out of here. What is the biggest light bulb moment you had when it comes to trading options, and how does it influence your trading in 2026 and beyond? Woo, that's a good one. I think my biggest light bulb was I can't I can't trade like other people. I really found that taking signals without guidance or actually knowing how to trade or go back and back test it on the chart didn't allow me to perform well. So making the money was not the true reward for me. The understanding and comprehension was more important to me, and it didn't make um it didn't make it fun because I didn't know what I was doing. So I took a step back from trading signals and I just buckled down for one whole year of only trading SPY, Ford, and looking at Tesla. And once I got those under my belt, I knew I really knew how to trade. I knew how to backtest. I knew how to like call fluff on people calling trade, and they didn't know what they were doing because I understood the market. I understood charting, and I understood how things played out. I can go back and backtest and see if somebody was lying about a trade that they were making, whether it was on they said it was photoshopped or not. I could see it. I can go look at it. So, and then also becoming one with the market. Once the market stopped being something that I was using as a hobby, and I knew this was going to be the thing that retired me, I used it as a form of business, and just like I was in school again. So I was like, I need mastery. I don't just need a lot of information, because that's what we do a lot of times. We'll do a book report and we'll just fill it with a lot of information, and that doesn't get us anywhere. I needed real things to implement. So I'm very big on implementing what you learn, not waiting a month from now. Like, if you never traded earnings, this is the week to paper trade it. You got the education, you learned about the tickers, let's go and watch them this week. It's not the way, oh, I'll wait till their next earning or next month. It's implementing now. Going into 2026 and beyond, not trading and with competition with other people. I don't compare myself to any other gurus. I know I'm a great trader, and I don't have to be better than anybody else, and I don't have to outwin anybody else. So once you stop competing and comparing, it really allows the information to resonate with you and you get a feel for it. Instead of when I go and study and I go over these charts, it's fun for me. It's entertaining. It's not something I'm grueling for, like, oh, I got to do charts this week. That's not fun. So I make it fun for me. In order for me to go over earnings, this might have been mundane or the longest 2 hours, or it could have been the funnest 2 hours for me to do it on live with you all. So I say find your lane, find the tickers that resonate with you, that get you to the goals that you want, and stick with those. You don't need um a whole football team. You really just need a basketball team, a starting five and five on the bench. That's all you really need to learn how to trade. So I block out a lot of noise. I don't trade. I miss a lot of moves in the market because I trade what I'm used to. I trade what works. I don't have to be on the most exciting thing again. I trade the stuff that's not sexy. AAL was not a sexy play, but it went over 100%. So getting out of the hype type of trading and trading what's consistently prints, that's been the most rewarding and profound thing that I could get to. And knowing that my trading is for me, it doesn't have to be like anybody else's trading. You find your own lane and what works for you and go from there. It doesn't make anything right or wrong. What is the most important advice you have for new and existing traders? Start. Um, find you a good mentor in the community. I think without that, we greatly increase the amount of time it's going to take us to master this, and it puts us in that scam state. The market's a scam, or I'm never going to be profitable, because we don't want to cut down that learning curve by not being a part of a community or not having a mentor, not somebody to ask to. Because you can come to YouTube, and unless it's live like me, we're not going to get answers. The video is not going to talk back to you to tell you and answer that question. So you go down one rabbit hole, then you got to go to Google and Investopedia and go down another rabbit hole for one word. And now you got 20 more videos. And I did it. And that wasn't fun. Once I started getting mentors, I learned quick, and I was able to adjust and start making money a lot faster. So I think just like, stay in your lane, understand what trades fit your budget, and master that. Understand that ticker. It may take you a year. Like, we'll give a university thousands of dollars and go to school for 4 years, but we won't get a stock market 6 months to a year to master something to give you time freedom. So I think it's about not stop thinking that the market is a quick get rich scheme, and that it does take a little bit of due diligence and putting in the work to be great at it. But everybody can be great at this. It doesn't take being a genius or a special skill. As long as you can use a calculator and look at a chart. Hell, we got Chat GPT now and all these other features that can pretty much spit out a play or a sequence for you if you load it with the right amount of data. So I just think there's no excuses now. So everybody can be a great trader. Existing traders understand the market that we traded in 5 years ago and even 10 years ago. It's different, and being able to adapt with the time is important for existing traders. Sometimes you need to rehash to somebody new. If there's a new trader and they're 18 or 20 and they got a way to do this stuff faster, I'm gonna be dang on show. I'm gonna sign up and be there, one, to support them because they're new and they're stepping out. But if they found something faster, let me know about it. So it's not about having one mentor or one person to follow. We in our side inside of Discord, we say iron sharpen irons. There's 7 or 8 of us that call plays, and we're all making each other stronger and smarter by trading with each other. That's bars. Speaking of community, how much is the Discord? The Discord, let me pull it up. Discord, boom. Here's the Discord. So we have multiple options to get inside. You can pay weekly, monthly, yearly, or the lifetime. I'm gonna tell you, and it's not just to upsell you, but the yearly and the lifetime come out better because you're gonna get 50% off when you use my code. So if you come in here, oh, let me go back and click it. Oh shoot, let me get in here and let me click the yearly. So if you're already gonna pay 150 a month, I do the yearly, and then you type in my code, Dr. Shaz. That's gonna make your yearly 50% off. So if you're paying once a month, 150 times 150 times 12, just to get the cheaper, you're going to pay 1800 when you could just pay the yearly upfront and pay 750. The Discord will be going up. I think we're at 150 a week. That's probably going to go to 200. We have 7 or 8 analysts, and we're adding one more. So if you don't like how I trade, you got 20, 30, you got 7 other people to follow. Hannah does live trading over Zoom. She trades SPX. You got Kendra and Court. You got Sky Zone. He does swing trading. So for even my day traders that say, well, I can't day trade, so I don't want to be in Discord, that's fine. We have a person that pretty much goes over swing trades. We got Donovan swing trade, and we have Bible study. Now, if you're not a Christian, don't be offended. That don't show up. But we do have Bible study inside of here. We have Ronan comes in with the report, gives you the plays and setups throughout the week, breaks it down for you, gives you the ticker, the calls and push, the delta, theta on it, breaks down and does pretty much all the research for you. You have me. I give the 100%, I break down the trade. I walk you through them, telling you what to do. So it's really signals with trading analysis, trade psychology. If that's the biggest thing you want, Pastor comes in and drops all the knowledge on us. Like, you could just start from the very beginning and just keep going forward to build on your trade psychology, because he's been in this game over 20 years and is a wealth of knowledge. But if you get back here, I'm going to forewarn you, do not inbox or DM this man. Do not bother him. He provides us with his clarity and insight, but don't go bothering this man for no one-on-one or no class. He's over that, but he does provide us with a lot of skills. Discord, You got multiple tiers. You can do weekly, monthly, yearly, or the lifetime. If anybody grabs the yearly or the lifetime, you do get free one-on-ones with me. So if you grab the yearly, you get two. If you get the yearly, you get two free one-on-ones. You get the lifetime, I'll give you four one-on-ones with me. You just have to make sure you use my link. And let me drop that link in here for you. Make sure you use my link, and then you send me a screenshot, email it to me, and let me know your purchase, and you'll be able to get those free one-on-ones with me. So it's like a 2-for-1. You can get inside the Discord, get a community, work with me, talk to me every day, and then you can have some one-on-ones with me as well. Y'all got me over a few minutes. Anything else, guys? If you're catching a replay, drop replay in the chat. If you need to reach out to me, the email that's going across the ticker, that's my email. You can shoot me an email if you want to hop on a discovery call, ask questions in private. Feel free to reach out to me. I'll take calls today up until 6 Central. Yeah, so that'll give y'all about an hour and a half. If you have any questions, you're most welcome. Thank you so much for y'all support. Stay safe. Don't get caught up in these trading streets and lose your money. Risk management is important, so we'll be going over that over the next couple of weeks. I'll put it on the calendar, so just be on the lookout. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you can know when I'm coming on. And I'll see some of you guys in the morning. So we'll be live trading in the morning. I'll set that up. Jason, link up with Dr. Chad for the mentorship. She's the GOAT. Thank you so much, Jason. Jason is a top tier prime student. He is doing phenomenal in the market. This will get him to freedom. And he just took it. He took the game, ran with it. He works in his own risk management, takes his plays clean and smooth, and is very consistent. So if you want to talk to somebody, next question, look out in the comments. The people, most of them who work with me, you could easily like get in touch with them and ask them if you want, what's the review about. If you want to see other reviews, you can come to my business. It's Know Better, Do Better Austin. That's where I'm based out of. I'm not in Austin now, and I'm in Houston. We got a couple of Google reviews. If you work with me and you haven't done your Google review, come over to Google. Got 5 stars here. So you can come to the Google reviews and come read how I am. I don't know why it's not popping up. Can I not read the review because it's me? Oh, there they go. So you got a bunch of, reviews down here. Get more reviews. I just wanted to, I guess since I'm the owner, it's not letting me see them all. Oh, there they are. View all. So you can come in here, read some of the reviews. Can't please everybody, but here are some of the people who work with me. If you've worked with me and you haven't left your review, definitely come in and drop one in here. I greatly appreciate it. If you just like the channel, for YouTube, come in here, talk about the channel, give it a review. It just gets me in front of more people, and I appreciate it. So definitely look forward to working with you guys in the future. I will see you guys in the morning. Who wants to live trade? Y'all have a good one. I'll give this one more minute to wrap up, and then we'll get out of here. I'll see y'all in the morning.